Hi everyone, on today's video we are going to be looking into a cheap brake upgrade that you may be interested in and show you how to install it. The pads getting installed are the Shimano H03A pads, which is the resin version of the metallic H03C pad that is also popular for the Sur-Ron. Included in the box are two directional pads, a spring that keeps the pads apart, and a cotter pin. Start by using a pair of needle nose pliers to pull the snap ring off the pad retention bolt, making sure to put it in a safe place. Next, use a 3mm Allen wrench to remove the retention bolt. Either using your fingers or the Allen you use, remove the pads. If they are hard to get out, you can also pull on them with a pair of needle nose pliers. Next, place the pads around the non-directional spring included in the box, making sure the spring sits around the edge of the braking surface. It's also important that you don't touch the pads and get oils from your hands on them. The pad denoted with an L on the back will go on the left side as if you were sitting on the bike. Pinching the pads together, slide them around the rotor and into the caliper. It's important to note that you may need to remove the caliper and reset the pistons if they have extended to the point where you can't slide the new pads in. Although the new pads come with a cotter pin, the retention bolt doesn't allow you to use it. Therefore, we will be using the stock snap ring that we originally took off. Take the retention bolt and slide it back through the caliper and pads. The pads may need to be wiggled a bit to get it through. Once the bolt stops, grab the 3mm Allen and tighten the bolt so that it is snug. It doesn't need to be very tight because there is a snap ring in case it comes loose, and you don't want to risk stripping it out. Use the needle nose pliers to reattach the snap ring. Next, grab a 5mm Allen and loosen the two bolts holding the caliper to the adapter just enough to where you can move it. While the caliper is loose, apply pressure toward the adapter so that it is tied up against it. While applying pressure, grab the front brake lever tightly and hold it. While holding the brake, retighten the two 5mm bolts, making sure not to let go of the brake caliper until both bolts are tight. This method helps center the pad around the rotor so that they don't rub. If they are still rubbing, it may be because you need to reset your pistons as previously mentioned. To bed the pads in, bring the bike up to 20 miles per hour and brake hard 5 times. Make sure not to come to a complete stop, but come close. Now, it's time for testing. If you'd like to skip the testing and see the final results, skip to 6:26 in the video.
Looks like 175. Right at 15 feet, so 180. It's looking like 161. It's looking like 203. $214.
Noticeable fade on that one.
Shows it's a 232.
$185. $194. $184. Yeah, that's 229.
Yeah, major difference.
$227.
think it's fading.
Two, two, two. $175. $186. $180. $209.
$172.5, so around there. 173. $169. Let's go.
As expected, the Shimano pads were a significant upgrade, stopping on average about 40 inches quicker. What we were surprised about is how close it was between the Shimano front only versus the Shimano front and rear. If you are trying to save money, fronts only are the way to go. Our bikes were early June delivery bikes, and the stock pads appear to make far less noise than the old ones do, so that is no longer an issue. The difference between the H03A and the H03C is that the 3A is softer, so you can brake harder and they have better feel. Where the 3C shines is that it can be used in all weather conditions, where the 3A is really only good for dry weather, and the 3C will last much longer. Stay tuned for our next video where we go over how to properly set up the stock Sur-Ron suspension. We will also go for a test ride where I talk about the upgrades we have done to the bike and what else we plan to do. Thanks for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing.